Hey everyone, it's Jeff Risdon from the Detroit Lions podcast and Lions Wire. It is the eve of real football. We have the Hall of Fame game coming tomorrow night, Canton, Ohio, 8 p.m. on ABC. I know you're going to be watching, and I'm here to tell you which Lions players you should be watching in the game against the Chargers. So let's do this. All right, I went through my Lions positional roster that we get every day at the beginning of practice. Highlighted 15 names on here, and I'll go through them fairly briefly, but give you a reason why you should be watching them. Starts with Hendon Hooker, the quarterback, number 2. He will be starting. He'll be playing a lot. Look, you know why you're watching Hendon Hooker. He has finally taken a step forward as the number 2 quarterback. He's looked good in camp. Not perfect, but has shown growth in what we needed to see from him as a Lion, namely getting the ball out on time, putting the balls in front of receivers rather than kind of like making them stop or slow up. He's done a very good job with that. The anticipatory throwing is coming along, but I want to see it against the Chargers defense. And the Chargers defense is going to be trying out a lot of different combinations. Their back end of their secondary is unsettled, so they're going to be trying some things too. So it'll be good to see Hooker against another team and see if the progress that he's made against the Lions in practice persists onto the football field in Canton at the Hall of Fame. Fawcett Stadium. I'll always call it Fawcett Stadium. I don't think they call it that anymore, but I digress. Next up, I got a couple of wide receivers here for you. The running backs. Look, you're not going to see, you might not even see Craig Reynolds in this game. So you're going to be looking at guys like Jabari Small. Vaki probably won't play because he's been dealing with a hamstring. We'll see. But your running backs are going to be 2 guys that they signed in camp. So, and honestly, they're not fighting for roster spots. They're fighting for practice squad spots. We'll get more about them later. But Ronnie Bell is a guy who could be playing his final time in a Lions uniform. Look, I love the dude at Michigan. He was a great playmaker. I thought that he was underappreciated as a draft prospect. It hasn't worked. The injuries have certainly hurt him. He's not had a bad camp, but he also hasn't really stood out and said, hey, I deserve to be on this team, or I deserve to even be on this practice squad. With guys like Jackson Meeks and Jacoby Keeney-Jones coming along very well. Look, the top 6 spots are set with the wide receivers. Bell's trying to somehow crack into that, and this is a good chance for him to try and do it against his former college coach, and Jim Harbaugh will be on the other sideline for the Chargers. Hoping you see something a little bit more out of Ronnie Bell because he's a very likable guy. He's very upbeat and positive, and always smiles and is willing to chat right after practice. But we got to see more from him, and he's a case here where if he doesn't have a great game, I could absolutely see the Lions letting him go and try to find a different spot where the wide receiver room isn't so deep. And as a favor to him and as a courtesy to a veteran who has something to offer for sure, but he's up against it in Detroit. But a good game could change that. And Dominic Lovett. Look, I've talked a lot about Isaac Tisla. I want to focus on the other rookie wide receiver who got drafted this year, Dominic Lovett, the 7th rounder. He's stronger than I thought he was. Has made some contested catches. He has worked out of the slot. But where I'm really going to watch him in this game, and this will be the determination between whether he makes the 53-man roster or whether he goes to the practice squad and winds up being like a call-up or a game day, elevation type thing. Special teams. He's been real good so far. So I want to watch him being the gunner on the punt team, and probably the punt returner in this game. I would guess that he will get a lot of reps with that. We haven't actually heard how Dan Campbell and Dave Phipp are going to distribute things, but special teams are his ticket to making the 53 because, again, the top 6 wide receivers are set. He's number 6. Do they keep 6? We'll see. Good playmaker. By the way, I do pick Isaac Tisla to be the Lions offensive MVP of this game. I think he's going to catch a lot of passes. He's been slowed with a knee injury, so he hasn't been as dynamic as you would think he is, and he's still been really impressive throughout camp. Still learning the intricacies of working his way through the defense, but he is capable of making some plays. And for the fans, I'm shooting this in Holland, just up the road in Hudsonville. That way, for those of you who are watching the video, not doing the audio only, thank you for that, by the way. Audio only is always a good option. For those of you who are driving, please don't watch videos while you drive. Obvious, but sometimes it needs to be said. Also, don't floss your teeth while you're driving. It's a bad habit. Stop doing that. You know who you are in my neighborhood. Yeah. Yeah, Tesla, if you're looking to catch the rookie in action, he should play, and he should be fun. Get to watch number 18. By the way, Ronnie Bell wears number 10, and Dominic Lovett is number 19. And you're going to want to check these things out because you're going to be looking for roster cheat sheets a lot. So I'll try to give you the numbers on these guys too. Number 40, Zach Horton, tight end / fullback. And the latter part of that has been where he has made his chance to make the team. Lions haven't had a fullback in a couple of years since Jason Kabinda went away. But they are using it some, and it's usually Horton, and he's looked decent. Undrafted rookie out of Indiana, catching the ball very well. He has a good connection with Hendon Hooker throughout practice, and it wouldn't surprise me to see those two hook up again. If Tesla is not going to be your offensive MVP, it wouldn't be surprising if Horton wound up getting that honor from this game. For those of you degenerates who bet on exhibition football games, don't hold me to that. For edutainment purposes only. And seek help. Offensive line. Okay. Manu, right? No player it's more questions about him for the various people in the media. We field questions all the time, every day, almost every hour on Giovanni Manu and his progress. He has made progress, no doubt about it. He's better than he was a year ago. There are still lumps. There's still some really ugly losses that have to be eliminated before we're ready to make him active. He is well behind Dan Skipper as the number 3 tackle. And Skip has been playing a lot. I don't think you're going to see Skip in this game. He has been the left tackle while Taylor Decker is out. Decker should be back soon. He will be ready for the regular season. He was working out Monday morning. Looked fine. Moving anyways. It's his shoulder that got scoped this, a little cleanup surgery. So he's on the whatever, and PUP, NFI, I can't keep track of which one's which. By the way, those basically are the same thing. The only differentiation between the two is that if you're on NFI, the team is not obligated to pay you. If you're on the PUP, they have to pay you. That's really, for all intents and purposes, the only differentiation between the two. Beyond that, they function the same way. That was something that I learned a few years ago, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so Manu, number 59, he will be your starting left tackle. It wouldn't surprise me to see him play the entire game. He needs reps. He needs so many reps. And seeing different people than people who know how to exploit his weaknesses in practice, I think that's something that we probably should talk more about with Manu, is like he's going against the same dudes in practice a lot. And they learn how they can beat him. And it would be better if he learned to adapt his game but he's not there yet. So when Nate Lynn and Isaac Ukwu and Mitchell Agude are getting him repeatedly with the same types of moves, and he's not capable of stopping it, I don't think that's helping anyone. So I really want to see what he can do against the Chargers defensive front. We'll see how that goes. I'm fingers are crossed. By the way, I wrote him up. I wrote up my summation of his first padded practice this year at Lionswire. Go check that out. Tried to be as fair as I could on that one. And there were some positives from that, too. A couple other guys. The other offensive tackle who's likely starting this game is Jamarco Jones. Jamarco has been all over the map in training camp. He's had some really impressive days, and he's had some really bad days. And there's no real rhyme or reason for either one of them. So I'm curious how he's going to look. Again, going against people that don't know that he can't block with his inside shoulder. Sorry, I told him, but again, you want to see adjustments from players like as they go along. Like Pat O'Connor is abusing the hell out of him, attacking the inside shoulder from being at a 5 technique. And it would be nice if Jamarco adjusted, and also if the Lions line adjusted a little bit to doing that. Pat O'Connor has been great. For all you people that are stressed out about Levi not being here, you'll like what you see in Pat O'Connor. He's not on the player list to watch here, but he probably should be. He's number 95. Let's see. Jones is wearing number 72, by the way. And then there's Netane Muti, number 52. Will probably be one of your starting guards in this game. If not, you're going to see him some. Look, this guy was great last summer, was well on his way to making the team when he had his pectoral muscle detach. It was ugly. It happened like right in front of me. He screamed. You don't see what's he listed at? He is listed at 325 pounds, and that's probably about right. But like, big Pacific Islander dude, screaming in pain, something's wrong. He is a very good player. He's just battled injuries nonstop throughout his career, going back to college. If he can stay healthy this summer, he's going to make this team as a reserve. And this game is a good test for him to take out some aggression on some other guys, because he's been pretty good as a second and third team guard throughout camp. Other guys I'm going to watch, Grant Stewart. I hope Grant Stewart plays, going to the defensive side of the ball here. Linebacker, look, self-professed Grant Stewart fanboy here. Just watching him in practice, he is so Dan Campbell. Like, if Dan Campbell were a player and played linebacker, he would be Grant Stewart. Aside from the special teams, where he was spectacular and has lost maybe one rep, and he would call it a draw throughout the entire. He's just unbelievably awesome on special teams. Whatever you ask him to do, he can be your gunner. He can be your punt protector. He can be in coverage. He can return. He did a punt return or kickoff return. And we're just looking at you like, holy crap. Grant Stewart, wow. He's also been pretty good at linebacker. Good enough that he is threatening to overtake some people on the depth chart around him. He's number 15. He's got a lot of hair. Fun player. I hope you all enjoy him as much as I do, because I'm smitten, man. Player crush. Gotta have those. Let's go to the secondary. I got 3 names highlighted here, and they're all kind of safeties. Well, the first 2 are number 27 and number 28, Ian Kennelly and Dan Jackson. Jackson, of course, the 7th round draft pick. He's had his moments. He is your Ifeatu Mulifanu replacement. He plays that role, that type of safety. Has shown that you understand in watching him in practice why the Lions were interested in him and why they drafted him. He hits hard. He's pretty smart. Not the best in coverage. He's got decent range, but not necessarily the instincts for it all the time. But he is relentless. He's also another guy that you really want to focus on special teams, because that's going to be the difference between him being on the active roster or being on the practice squad as a stash. And look, we'll have the debates about claiming people off of cuts later. We can get to that point at some point. But this is a game where he could have a decent game attacking the run and trying to slow down tight ends. Kennelly, Grand Valley State, D2 product. He is a free safety. Now, he will come down into the box and hit you, but his coverage instincts have already shown. He can make plays on the ball. He's very savvy at anticipating what route combinations are coming at him, how to transition between zones when they play zone. He's very good at like accepting transition from like the outside cornerback will hand him off to Kennelly in a high post sort of situation. He's really good at that already. The reality is he's probably playing for a practice squad spot or maybe an audition for another team, because he is a guy that I do think would get claimed. His athleticism is ridiculous. He is very clearly the most athletic safety on the team, and that includes the starters. Not necessarily the fastest, but everything else is just so fluid, man. He looks like he was born to play football. So I'm excited to watch him, number 27. He missed a couple days of practice. He should be back and be fine. And then Eric Hallett. Yeah, he was here last year. Probably don't remember that. He has been Avonte Maddox's understudy for all intents and purposes. He is playing the nickel role. He's played some outside corner. He has played some free safety. When they do split safeties, he will typically go to the weak side. He has played some single high, and he's been good. He's had a very strong camp in coverage, in run support, in blitzing. Guy who's a very real threat to make the team that not many people had making the team. So he's got to watch. He is number 36. You'll probably see a lot of him. I hope he shows in this game against the Chargers what he has to us in practice every day. He's been very impressive. Earned one of my Player of the Day nods at Lions Wire back in the notebook. I think that was last Sunday. It all bleeds together. By the way, it's Wednesday. The game's tomorrow. Looking forward to being there. It's going to be so much fun. Look, I'm a Northeast Ohio native. Going to the Hall of Fame was weird. I went there a lot as a kid, and then I didn't go there for a very long time. And it was really cool to get back there. I actually did a little bit of my research studies in college on the USFL and why it failed, which was my senior history thesis. I did some of that research at the Hall of Fame, which was really cool. And I hadn't been there in a long time. And I went back COVID summer and had a great time. Took my family. It was their first time there. I wrote about that. That's up at Lions Wire if you want to search it. It's called Visiting the Hall of Fame as a Lions Fan. And if you're going down this week, check that out because it was really cool being there as like somebody who's, been a fan for forever, but then not being there for a while and coming back and having, the media side of it that I've delved into. It was cool. So, yeah, if you're going to the game, enjoy it. Be prepared, though. The Akron-Canton area is not equipped real well for a surge of tourists and travelers. You might be waiting an hour to get a table at Buffalo Wild Wings. Just keep your patience up because the golf tournament is also there at Firestone, which is in Akron. Great tournament, but the fact that Metropolis schedules the two biggest draws of the year to go there at the same time, yeah, whatever. All right, back to the Lions players I want to watch. We'll go to the edges. Two guys to focus on. Obviously, Ahmed Hassanin, number 61, rookie. A whole lot of energy. Some of it's unbridled, some of it is untamed, and they're working on harnessing all that. He's capable of making a couple of splash plays in this game, and I hope that we do get to see that a little bit. I want to see him not abandon his backside containment, something that Marcus Davenport does extraordinarily well as the starter. I want to see him not run past the point of attack because he's done that some in practice too. So, and just he's going to be one of those players that if there's a post play fracas, he's probably going to be involved. He might start it, and that's okay. Fun guy. The other one to watch, number 57, Nate Lynn, local guy, in the second year, had a really strong camp going in 2024. He got hurt. He's back. He started camp really well. Even got a couple of first team reps in a couple of early practices. He's kind of plateaued since then, and I want to see him be able to pick it back up again. Like I talked about earlier, the defensive linemen and the offensive linemen on this team have gone against one another so much that they know how to beat one another. And in general, the defense wins those things, but that hasn't happened with Lynn so much. It feels like the offensive line has figured out more of what he's going to do and has been able to slow him down. So I want to see him make that adjustment in a game. He's a fun one, though. Good guy, too. I have had the opportunity to talk with him after a couple practices. Definitely an easy guy to root for. And I want to see something from 57 in this game. Last but not least, we'll go to the interior defensive line, the source of panic among many Lions fans. Not me. I like what we got. One of the reasons I like what we got is we got Keith Cooper on this team. Ladies and gentlemen, he might be your Levi Onwuzurike replacement. He might be your Josh Paschal replacement. Both of those guys might be replaced right away because Levi's out for the year. Paschal, who knows? Would love to have him back because I think he's a good player, but can't help the club in the tub. Well, Keith Cooper's taking advantage. He is built. He is powerful. He is 6'2", 280, 85 pounds. He can float around between playing end. He can play 5. He can play 4. He is reduced down to the 2 and 3. Sounds like Levi, right? Sounds like Paschal, right? Cooper earned himself a spot. Number 60. He is number 64 by being able to rush the passer in rookie minicamp. He's not stopped. He's had first-team reps and has held his own playing next to Tyleik Williams and DJ Reader. Like, this guy is a very real threat to make this football team, especially if Paschal starts the season on the shelf, which, again, with Paschal, you just don't know. I hate to say that about him, but you don't. So you got to cover your bases. Keith Cooper's a guy to definitely focus on. The other guy to watch, number 90, Chris Smith. I have been neglectful in mentioning Chris. Chris has had a good camp, and he's in, what was he in? He's in his third year with the Lions. Former Notre Dame player, quiet, but very effective at gumming things up in the middle of the line. And he has had a couple of pass rush wins, too. He's got an interesting little swim-rip combination. That's hard to say. Swim-rip combination on the inside that has won a few times. So I'm curious to see what he can do against a Chargers line that does not know what they're doing after their starters, kind of like Detroit. So, it's a chance for these guys to make some noise. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you watched the game and, see some things to like. Again, the final score absolutely does not matter. What we're watching this game for is the process, the individual player actions, reactions, how they handle situations, and can the Lions, can the new coaching staff, John Morton, Kelvin Shepard, all these guys, can they be trusted in game situations, and can they give you something to build off of? Or is it a situation where, you know what, it's just not going to work here. Let's ship you off and bring somebody else in, which happens a lot in the preseason. Hope you enjoy it. We'll have a full recap after the game. I will be the Huge Show on Friday. It will be almost entirely devoted to breaking down the night's game before. We'll also have a ton of stuff up at Lions Wire, and we're trying to get a live show together this weekend. We'll see how that goes with me and Chris. But until then, thanks. Go Lions.